Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here. Dr. Holtz-Aiken, I want to come to you. There is this term that came up in one of our hearings, and the chairman's heard me talk about this several times. And it was a new term that Commissioner Werfel used. It was total positive income. And this came up in relation to that $400,000 threshold, where the administration claims they're not going to audit people that are making under $400,000 a year. Well, we also had Marjorie Rawlinson in front of the committee in September, and she seemed to have a little bit of trouble giving us a clear definition of what is total positive income. And I had done a little digging through Tennessee. I think you know my state fairly well. National Federation of Independent Business has just hundreds, thousands of members, small business owners. We are a very entrepreneurial state. And as I have looked and talked with businesses and reviewed this issue, it doesn't matter if it is a quilt shop or a tavern in East Tennessee, or if it is an independent electrician over in West Tennessee trying to do some work with Blue Oval City. What people keep saying is, what is total positive income, and who is going to be affected by these new audits that are coming on that? Because a lot of LLCs, LPs, sub-S, they're all on that individual return. And I would love to hear from you. If you can give me a definition, a working definition of what that is supposed to be, and what is that benchmark, and small businesses, what should their concern be about this?
I can't give you a working definition or any other definition. It's a concept that they have developed and they're using. I will say this: I cannot support this notion that the president's pledge to not raise taxes for people under $400,000 is the same thing as saying you're allowed to cheat on your taxes. That's just not okay. It doesn't matter what your income is. And those audits ought to be applied on the basis of evasion, the probability of evasion, and the ability to collect taxes that are legally owed. And no other criteria should matter. It makes no sense. Total positive income, total negative income, hyperbolic income, I don't care what the income measure is, apply it across the board and collect the taxes.
Is there anybody on the panel that can give a definition of total positive income as it relates to this $400,000 threshold?
I would agree with Dr. Holtz-Aiken is that one of the things that you need to be very careful of is not setting a threshold that then allows the worst tax evaders to just file their returns pretending that they have income below that level and therefore avoid detection and audit. And that's one of the tricky things about having a bright line. And I also agree with Dr. Holtz-Aiken that...
And no one knows where the bright line really is. Yeah. Well, that has been perplexing for a lot of Tennessee businesses, thousands of them. They can't figure out what is going to be coming at them. Mr. Pearl, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I would agree. I think that everyone who should be potentially subject to examination by the Internal Revenue Service, you shouldn't be scared of the Internal Revenue Service if you're following the laws. I think the changes we're talking about in these proposals are really things meant not even for the 1%, barely for the 100%, for a few tens of thousands of the most wealthiest people in our country.
That may be what the intention is, but I got to tell you, people are just really, if you all are confused about what this is, imagine what Main Street businesses are confused about what all of this means. Now, talking about the audits, this July, GAO examined IRS audits of large partnerships and found that the agency is starting from a very weak position when they talk about bolstering these audits, much to the comments that you all have made between 2010 and 2018, 4 out of every 5 of those audits resulted in no change. And of those that changed, the company overpaid taxes and they were owed money back by the IRS. So I think that what we need to do is have some clarity around this. When you're talking about this new wave of audits and being focused on these complex partnerships, and then the GAO does the study, and that is not the problem where they found the problem to be. I think we need to be mindful of that. Mr. McBride, well, my time has expired. Mr. McBride, I'll submit a question to you on this issue for the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank my colleague, and I just want, because she has been a very, very constructive member of the committee, I want her to know I'm going to stay at it until we get the official definition of total positive income from the IRS. They know that I feel strongly about it, and we're going to.
Well, I appreciate that because people are so confused on this, and they keep saying, how does this affect me? And I'm in each of Tennessee's 95 counties every year, Mr. Chairman, and this is not a statutorial definition. This is a Biden administration definition, but there's not a working framework on this. And small businesses are trying to prepare for next year, and they're trying to make longer-term plans, and they're looking at business structures, and they have this undefined that this administration refuses. It's like Jell-O. They refuse to define it.
I think it is more like a sandwich that